5 Questions with Me, EP. Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth. I'm here with litigator and business attorney Erika Albas, and I'm going to ask her 5 questions. Are you ready?
I think so.
Question 1. Can you share a memorable case or client experience that has shaped your career?
Sure. I think the one that comes to mind is actually not that old. It's from when I came here. It was one of my first litigation cases I did. It was a first party property case. It involved this poor woman whose house was extremely damaged in Hurricane Ian. And the insurance company started out with offering her $1,600.
$1,600?
1600, yes. And she thought it was like just for her living expenses. She was like, okay, well, what else is next? And they're like, oh no, then we're done. And so then she had to get a public adjuster, and then the offer went up to $4,200, and they wouldn't budge from that. And this is a house that was structurally, it was not condemned. It was still there. But it had 2 balconies, and the balconies had been jarred, so they weren't safe, structurally safe to walk on anymore. She had windows they didn't close anymore because the house had just, moved. So we got involved in the case, and it was one of my first party property cases, and we got her well into the 6 figures, and she was very, I want to say she was happy, but what happens with first party property clients? Honestly, they're exhausted. They're just relieved. They're relieved to be able to fix their house. They're relieved to maybe at some point see when they can sleep in their own bed. Nobody's trying to get rich. They're just trying to get back to normal. So that case is over 2 years old, and I still think about her, and I still, hope she's doing well.
Aww, one of many, many, many great results from Erika. Question 2. What do you enjoy doing in your free time outside of work?
So, I love to read, but I'm going to be honest with you kids, I don't have time to read anymore. My son, he's a rising senior next year. He plays baseball. He's played baseball since he's 4 years old. He's pretty good. He's a right-handed pitcher, and we do travel ball. So generally I am at a ball field. I was just at a ball field in Fort Myers for 4 days. We have a game Friday night of Memorial Weekend, game Saturday, 2 on Sunday, 2 on Monday, and then drove home. So I'm his number 1 biggest super fan, and we're close to all those parents, and it's just become, I think it's a little bit of a cult because we're all just hanging with each other. But I really enjoy watching him play. I'm just watching him grow up.
A great mom and a great attorney.
Wow.
Number 3, what is a motto or personal philosophy that you live by?
So, I guess the one that I do say to people all the time, so maybe you've even heard it, is that the only true emergency happens in a hospital. Because especially when you practice law, everything seems like a crisis. It's just one crisis to the next and one deadline to the next, and it's easy to just kind of lose your mind. And I've worked in offices, not this office, but I have worked in situations where this pressure got to people and they were yelling and screaming, and it's a terrible environment. So I always try to just say, you know what? The only true emergency happens in a hospital. It's just everybody breathe. And I think the support staff, they react to that. If they know they can bring you news that's, maybe not good, but that you're not going to lose your mind.
Right.
I think it just makes a much better work environment. So and I say that at home too. If, the kids have problems with grades, I'm like, let's just relax. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It all works out.
Remembering what the true definition of an emergency is.
Exactly.
It's great advice. Number 4, how do you balance the demands of your legal work with your personal life?
That one, I'm not sure I do. I think I do now more because I'm more senior. I've been practicing over 25 years. Mm-hmm. But when I was a young attorney, it was and I had a little one, it was very hard. And so I think we tell women, you can have it all, but honestly, I'm not sure you can always have it all at the same time. And so you do have to pace yourself. Don't feel guilty. What happens, at least it happened to me, is I would be at work and I'd be thinking about where I needed to be at home. And then I would go home and I'd be thinking about where I needed to be at work. And so I was never really enjoying either.
Yeah.
And so I think you can just kind of be in the moment. And again, just like my advice, it all works out. But just, on that particular day, it doesn't work out. You just have to kind of look at the big picture. And kids do understand. And they adapt. And I think, they're better for it, maybe, right? But that's not to say there weren't days when I'd be like, I wish I could be one of those stay-at-home moms.
Which is also very hard.
Yeah, that's a whole different level of hard. You could have somebody come in here and talk about that, and that would have other stories. So I think everybody I think everybody has to the balance challenges. No matter what you do, if you have a family, you're challenging.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like balance doesn't always look the same. I mean, and it's always not 50-50. I mean, some days you have to give 10-90 and other days 90-10. And
it's true.
I agree and sympathize with that struggle.
And it's true. We, right now we kind of talk about having kids at home, but, as our parents age, and then we got to take care of our parents. And then jobs come and go and they change and the structures change. And, so I think you just be kind to yourself, right? Just say, okay, I'm gonna make it through this day.
Make sure you
this too shall pass, right?
Put yourself in that balance.
Exactly.
Last one. Are you ready?
I hope so.
If you weren't a lawyer, what other profession do you think you might have pursued?
This is easy. So when I was growing up, I wanted to be a government teacher. Well, not government. I wanted to be a teacher, and I've always wanted to be a teacher, but for various reasons, that wasn't my career path. I became a lawyer, but I would definitely, at this point in time, I would want to be a government teacher and just teach kids of why they need to care, because they don't, and why it is important to them, even though they don't really know it. But there's this old adage that and I'm a public policy geek. I love public policy and how laws are made and things like that. But there's this old adage that says when laws are being made, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And so I just think that as a society, we need to kind of pay attention to what's going on. It's so easy to get, as we just talked about, work and life balance. Now you add caring about your community to that. It's hard. That's time, right? But it's very, very important.
I agree. So, I think you'd be good at that. And there's also so much misinformation out there that it would be nice to have, a sound mind teaching them how.
Well, I think it'd be fun. You can't do it now because there's the internet. So kids can one Google search away from knowing everything about you. But I think pre-internet, my goal would be they wouldn't know what I thought about anything, because I would play both sides and just devil's advocate and make them, kind of justify your position. Now they would know. They could Google, they could say, oh, she, worked for so-and-so. And but yeah, you'd always try to make them justify why they feel the way they do.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Well, Erika, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Until next time. 5 Questions with Me, EP.